Hello, greetings to you all children, class 4. Hope you all are doing good. This is me, Miss Christina, your English language teacher. So today our topic of learning is punctuation. You are well aware about it and it's a little lengthy, but it won't be boring. We're going to learn some new punctuation marks that you haven't studied before. So this topic is quite interesting. Okay, class 4, get ready for the topic now. So let's know what punctuation is. Punctuation in a sentence, children, it's very important because when you're reading a sentence or when a sentence is written, how will you come to know whether it's a statement or it's a question or whether it's a command? Or whether should you continue reading or should you pause in between? So all these are we are able to understand when we see the punctuation mark or punctuation marks in a sentence. So now, after I've explained you, let's read the definition. Punctuation is used to create sense. You can come to know whether it's a sentence, it's a question, or is it a command or whatever. So clarity is the sentence, and clarity means like being clear. Stress means that you will know what emotion it is. You use punctuation marks to structure and organize your writing. Punctuation is the name for marks used in writing. They are to help understand and correct reading. Like I explained you, with the punctuation marks you can have a proper way of reading. These are some common punctuation marks used in English. Here we have two different conditions in which we have unpunctuated sentence. The first condition, here sentence is not punctuated. See the first one. When is your birthday? Now there is no capital letter and we don't know if it's a sentence or whether it's a question or a command or request. We don't know that. Then the second sentence, I belong to a different group. That I is small. The sentence is not making sense. And then again, is it a question? Is it a command or is it said by somebody? We don't know. The second condition that we have is punctuated sentences. Now here we have the question marks. Let's see. When is your birthday? There. We have the capital W. That means it is the starting of the sentence because capitals are always used in starting. Then there's a question mark there. That means when is your birthday is a question. Now it's making sense. I belong to a different group. I is a capital. Okay, it's talking about a person, not the alphabet I. And then at the end we have a full stop. All right, I belong to a different group was a sentence. See how the clarity how it became when you use the punctuation mark, right? I'm sure you know what punctuation is now. Let's move on to punctuation marks. We'll be studying all punctuation marks that are included in your syllabus one by one. The first punctuation mark is capitalization. Let's see how and when to use capital letter. We can use a capital letter just for the months, the name of months. Whenever you're using name of months in any of your writings, so you have to start the letter or whatever the alphabet with the capital letter. See over here in the example, my birthday is in October. So October, that's blue in color. There we have the capital O. All right. The second one we see is the letter I. I, whenever you're referring to yourself, whenever it's used as a pronoun, you are never going to write it in a small alphabet I. You're never going to do that. That's a very big error and mistake in a sentence. See the example there. If I go to the store, I buy ice cream. The I, both the I are in capital letter. So we never use I as a small alphabet. You will never write I in the small I ever in your sentences or in your paragraph or when you start a new sentence after a full stop. So never write I as small, always capital. Or okay? Capitals are also used for names of people, states and countries. People can be any person, and it can be your name, it can be somebody you know, somebody you do not know also. Like, have you observed when you write your names in your copies or in your books, so you always begin it with a capital letter? So the reason is because you are punctuating it. And then there's it says states. We don't have states here, we have provinces, we have cities. So whenever you're writing the name of any province or the cities, you will always begin the name of a city or a province with a capital letter, never with a small letter, always with the capital letter. Then country, we know that country, the name of a country is always begins with a capital letter. We have the example there, Kerry. Kerry is the name of a person who is from Kansas. Kansas is a state over there, but let's take it a province here. Would love to go to Italy. Italy is the name of a place. Next we have is titles, capital used for titles. Do you remember making that title page in your copies? And you always used to start with a capital letter? Yes, that's exactly what it is. Whenever you're writing titles, you'll always begin it with a capital letter. This titles is not included in your syllabus for capitalization, but it's just for your extra information. Okay, now the foremost thing, the most important thing, capitals are used in start of a sentence. Any sentence that you start, you will always begin it with a capital letter. We have this MINTS, mints. This is a strategy to learn, keep your capitalization in your mind. So whenever you have a worksheet to capitalize, you can keep mints in front of you so it will be easier for you. The next punctuation mark we have is a full stop, a very super easy one. You all know that to the end of the, whenever a sentence is ending, we'll always put a full stop. See, the full stop is standing there, the red one with a face. So itself, the full stop is also saying for itself, I must stop at the end of the sentence. So whenever a sentence is ending, you're going to put a full stop. At time, full stop is also referred to as a period. All right. So that's it about full stop. It's pretty easy. The third punctuation mark we have is a question mark. It's you all know about it. The main use of the question mark is to ask a question. Whenever you want to ask a question, so you have at the end of asking a question, there should be a question mark. Check out the examples there. Are you playing cricket? There we see the question mark. And then what time is it? Again, a question mark in the end. Therefore, whenever you're asking a question, at the end, do put a question mark. The next punctuation mark is the exclamation mark. We'll study about the exclamation mark now. What is an exclamation mark? An exclamation mark usually shows strong feeling, such as surprise, anger, or joy. Anything that is related to your feeling or emotion, that after you are moved or you're filled with emotions and feelings, and whatever that time comes out of your mouth, that's when you're going to put an exclamation mark. Now see the boy over there in blue who's so happy, and when he's happy, for sure something is coming out of his mouth, maybe hooray, oh wow, something like that, and that's where you're going to put the exclamation mark. Check out the other kid now. For sure he looks very surprised and shocked, so maybe what comes out of his mouth is, oh no, I just can't believe it. So that's after he utters these things out of his mouth, that's when we will put the exclamation mark. Now, before we proceed, why don't you examine yourself, like how well have you understood the chapter of punctuation? So there's a worksheet, just try to attempt it, all right? So here we have an exercise in which you have to place in the punctuation marks, that is full stop, exclamation mark and question mark. Just read out the sentences and you will get to know that which punctuation mark has to be put in. So just be very careful and just try to attempt it. All right. The next punctuation mark is comma. So what is comma? For reading, we can see children that when we are reading, to bring a pause, for a minor pause for a few seconds. We can only do that when we see a comma in a sentence or in a paragraph. That's when we give a pause in our reading. So for readers, this comma is very helpful. Let's see what's written here. A comma is a punctuation mark that indicates a pause needed in a sentence. Commas help to clarify meaning for the reader. Now another common use of comma that you have studied previously many times, that is to separate a series of words that can be nouns, adjectives, verbs or adverbs in a sentence. Now look at the first sentence. Tom, Anna, Jim and Richard went for the meeting. So if you are not using commas, somebody might think Tom, Anna, Jim is one person. No, to put a focus on separation of three different people, here we are using commas. Tom, comma, one person. Anna, comma, second. Jim, third one. And Richard is the fourth one. Moving on to the second example. David is an intelligent, loyal and hardworking employee. So here we are using adjectives to tell about David. So intelligent, one adjective, loyal, second and hardworking, third. To separate them, we are using comma. The last but not the least punctuation mark that we are going to study is apostrophe. So here we will study how to use apostrophe. Rule number 1, children, you must be remembering contractions. Like she is, we used to write she's. He is, we used to write it in short form he's. I am used to be written as I'm. That is the first rule where we are using apostrophe. See over here in the example, she is only allowed candy on Friday. So that she's is the apostrophe. That's where we are using the apostrophe. The second condition where we can use apostrophe is where use apostrophe to show possession. Possession means something that belongs to somebody, something that exclusively belongs to somebody. Like for example, when you come to school, the uniform, your bag, your stationery, that is your possession. That does not belong to anyone else, not even your siblings, only to you. Check the example here. They found Miss Connor's gloves. So whose gloves are those? Miss Connor's. That's why we are adding S at the end of Miss Connor's name. Okay? This is how we are going to use apostrophe for the possessions. So here we are done with the chapter. The second worksheet that you have to attempt is use commas to write about yourself. So over here you just need to use commas. Your favorite foods, you're just going to list down the names of your favorite foods and do put commas in between to separate the series of words. Okay? Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Okay then, time to say goodbye to you all. God bless and stay safe.